Hi, this is the Darianak with another episode thoughts for Utano Prince-sama, Maji Love Revolutions. And this is for episode 5, where we get to focus on another of the cross units for Starish. This one is the trio of Ren, Sho, and Cecil. And they're given the project where they more or less get to not only star in, but also kind of produce a commercial for a cell phone. How they get it produced is more or less they have to come up with the concept. Of course, the three of them, they have vastly different ideas, and kind of more or less kind of butt heads about it, and it kind of makes sense because they're all kind of stubborn characters and not the best with communication. So no surprise that it kind of breaks down for them in this episode, and that's the big thing that they've got to come over, though technically they don't so much, as Haruka is the one who's able to, kind of talk to them and figure it all out. So she more or less does all the heavy lifting for this in this episode, for actually bringing them together and bringing their ideas together for this commercial so they can come up with their song for it. And I do kind of find it pretty funny that, these three characters that aren't always best at, communicating are given, a cell phone, the, forms of communication to try to sell. So I thought that was a nice little touch. I'm not sure if they were actually kind of, going for that, but I think it worked actually rather nicely. And also really nice to just see these three kind of interact because, well, I guess Cecil and Sho, they've interacted a bit, but Ren, he's usually with Masato or Tokia, some of the more I guess quiet and reserved and I guess more mature characters. So it was kind of interesting to see him actually having to more or less interact with Cecil and Sho, who are kind of more young and energetic, and just kind of see the personalities clash a little bit. Because, like I mentioned before, for me with the whole cross-unit thing, what I really enjoy is seeing characters that we don't usually see too much, interaction with, actually kind of interacting, and kind of that overall is what I really enjoy with this series. Let's see. And I do love the scene with Cecil and Kamu, where basically Kamu actually gives some advice to Cecil, and then when Cecil goes to thank him for it, Kamu goes ahead and rejects the idea and tries to tell him that he hasn't, though he clearly has. Kamu seems to have denial issues. Lots of denial issues. And of course we get a scene where Reiji gets to be rejected by the rest of Quartet Knights. Poor Reiji. He seems like such an ill fit for the group. So I'm definitely really looking forward to his episode. Though, from what I've noticed with the CD releases, and also if you notice with the first episodes, the characters appear in that as they more or less have their episodes in this season, so I know he's going to be the last one. So it's going to be a long wait. Though, at least we'll be getting a Kamu and Ranmaru, I think, up next in their individual episodes. So really looking forward to learning more about them. Especially since most of Quartet Knight are kind of I guess a little bit more on the reserve side, where you just don't, you don't get too much from them. I mean, Kamu is pretty reserved in general and really has that kind of noble stature, and Ranmaru, he's just kind of angry. And he was betrayed by his band in the past. So, that's about all you get for them. So really looking forward to those. But overall, kind of really enjoyed this episode. And I do like the fact that, they bring up that even though the three are kind of arguing over their ideas for this commercial. You know, it's not something that is something that should get all worked up about or worry about, because, you know, it's a creative argument, and, you know, that's always nice to hear, because usually, you know, you do arguments, it's like always one person right and one person wrong, and, you know, you gotta like battle to win, and I'm kind of losing my train of thought, but, you know, where our kind of shows that arguments, they can be good at times. And, you know, in this one, it is, except for the fact that it totally, they totally kind of break down when it comes to, like, communicating. But thankfully, they have Haruka there to go ahead and talk to everyone and realize that, you know, they basically all kind of agree. They're just really stubborn and won't tell, actually won't tell each other that. So it's pretty much up to her to kind of bridge that gap. And I kind of love the fact that she does so, like, when her cell phone goes off. I can only really hope, though, that she actually answered it instead of just went directly into, like, writing the song she did. Because I could definitely see her doing that. I was kind of curious to who in the world was phoning her in the first place. Probably Tomochika? Yes, I think that's her name. Seeing as she actually shows up in this episode. But yeah, overall, pretty good episode. Really enjoy it. But of course, there's very little that I don't enjoy in this series. It's so addicting to me. I'm going to probably go in horrible withdrawal once it's done, or the season is done. And I really hope that we get a 4th season and more, so much more. Oh, and I guess before I forget, I do love the fact that we finally get confirmation in the anime about Sho's brother. He doesn't bring up that he's technically supposed to be his twin brother, but it's the fact that, you know, Kaoru does actually, I guess he is canon for the anime series. I rather enjoy that. And that little nod, especially since, you know, Sho's story has changed so much compared to what it was in the game. It didn't look like there was really a way to bring him in, so I really liked when he was talking to, Haruka. He does go ahead and bring his brother up. So, really happy about that. Yes. And since I'm not, like, suddenly remembering anything at this point, I will go ahead and wrap up. So, thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe to my channel, leave a like or a comment. Until next time, bye!